All right, boys. We are live.
We're live.
Live in the interwebs. Like I said earlier, I mean, your beard game is strong, and I'm just gonna stick with the fact that I shaved yesterday. We'll go with that. I shaved yesterday. Try to keep up with you boys. But all right, people, team, we are live on, like I said, Boulder Crest Foundation YouTube, Boulder Crest Foundation Facebook, and the Warrior Path Alumni Facebook pages. And it's cool to kick it with you guys. Two Warrior Path alumni, Rick and Eric, rightly seated because they're smart like that. Comes with the beard game. But interesting story between you two, and I'm not going to steal too much of it. We're going to talk about your Warrior Path experience, what got you to Warrior Path, what the change was from going through Warrior Path, and what you've done with it since. And you guys knew each other prior to Warrior Path, like brothers from another mother, and went to two different Warrior Path classes, and then have come together in a united front to create a change in the world in your local community to start with. So, if you would, Rick and Eric, this is like a boy band, Rick and Eric.
You don't want that to happen.
No singing competitions tonight. All right, so we won't see you on America's Got Talent or anything like that. Fair game. No, why don't you guys one at a time? Rick, we'll start with you since you're the lead singer, and just tell us who you are. What's your story, man?
Oh, goodness. Hi, I'm Rick. Went through mobile training 002. Eric went through 001. He's the guy that got me to go through. Called me about halfway through when he went through Warrior Path. And little funny side story, when he was getting ready to go down, we talked about it, and I knew that I wanted to do something. I had to do something, but I had tried so many different things before and nothing worked. Nothing was lasting. And I told Eric, I'm going to let you be the guinea pig on this one, and let him go down. He went down through in Texas, and he called me halfway through and said, hey, this place is legit. It's the real deal. You need to come. So that night I filled out the application, and I think by the time he came home from Warrior Path, I was already accepted into one of the other classes. Somebody fell out, or not fell out, but somebody dropped out, and a spot opened up, and I was in the books.
Yeah, man. You had the COVID hiatus too.
Yes.
Right? You had like 3 months in between.
Yeah. I was supposed to go in March, and then everything happened, and that got postponed. I went in July.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that. So you, Mr. 001, on Team Backwards Hat, we rep that. We'll get into what that hat is here in a few minutes. What about you? How'd you get to Warrior Path?
Wow, it was a long road. I left the Army, and after leaving, I struggled, just like all of us did, struggled mightily for quite some time. And like you said, Rick and I have been best friends since about the age of 5. We've done everything together. We joined Boy Scouts together. We were Eagle Scouts together. We joined the military together. We even dated some of the same girls in high school together. Not at the same time, but you know. And we thought, just like so many others, that we were helping each other, because we'd sit in my basement and we'd console each other over a bottle of whiskey, and we wouldn't stop until we found the bottom, and we'd rehash and retell and live those war stories over and over again. And the short story is I had found out that one of my very good friends had recently committed suicide. And I called his mom to talk to her and find out not what happened, but what happened, the events that had led up to that. And when I hung up the phone, my wife, Amy, was with us when we were on this call, and she was in tears, near sobbing. And I wasn't sure what was going on, because she didn't even know him. And she said to me, she's like, Eric, everything that woman said, I see in you. She's like, and I will not sit here and watch you kill yourself. I won't let our son find you on the floor. And that night I got on Google and I divine intervention, whatever it was, I Googled the words, "I don't want to die." And I came across Warrior PATHH, a program that promised something different, promised that they weren't going to shove pills at me and, this crazy thing called post-traumatic growth. What the heck is that thing? And like I said, I ended up going to Warrior PATHH, the mobile training team 001. And I found something that worked, something that was different, some place that didn't shove pills at me and tell me everything's going to be okay. And I believed in it so much that I knew my best friend in this entire world, the guy that, we've been through thick and thin together, that I knew it would work for him as well. And here we are.
There you are. What was it for both of you? And don't answer at the same time. I know you like to talk and finish each other's sentences, but what was kind of your biggest takeaway, each of you, your biggest takeaway from the 7 days of the initiation of Warrior PATHH, the first 7 days?
I'll tell you what mine is. Mine was realizing that I'm not broken. Every doctor, every psychiatrist, every psychologist I went to kind of patted me on the head and said, "Oh, you poor little veteran, you're going to have to live this substandard life, and here's some pills to help you feel better." And I believed it. You're told something enough times, you're going to believe it. And I believed that I was broken, that my life was going to suck from here on out, that there was no bright sunshiny day, there was no hope. And after leaving my 7-day introduction to PATHH, I no longer believe that. I realized that there is potential. There's struggle, but through that struggle, there's so much potential for a happy, joy-filled life.
Mm-hmm.
That was honestly my biggest takeaway, the thing that really turned my life around.
Cool. Rick, what about you, man?
Retrospectively, looking back, I really appreciate looking at the entire Warrior PATHH, the 7-day intensive training, and seeing how everything was essentially choreographed. Everything worked with other components throughout the week, and I loved the whole thing. I think for me, my pivotal point, and I think the thing that impacted me the most, was the labyrinth. And it's something that has still carried, well, it's really carried with me, because we just, about a month and a half ago, we finished with our organization building our own labyrinth. But that was huge for me to be able to walk it and put all of the things that I've been carrying that I should not have been carrying in the center and walking away. And I'll tell you what, I hope he's watching. Walking back out of that labyrinth the first time and walking smack into Brian Hood and him telling me, "Welcome home." That was the first time in almost 2 decades I felt like I was home.
And that labyrinth in the back is the one you walked. That's the one, that's a overhead view of Virginia's labyrinth.
Yep.
Awesome.
Both of you had powerful experiences in that circle with the rocks.
Yep.
Right. Still don't understand why walking in the circle carrying a rock will make me cry.
It's a powerful thing, man, that warrior practice. So you both had powerful experiences. You both had a shift. Were welcomed home, saw some hope, saw some light, have put in some work. I mean, you guys are both a year plus out of your programs now, still walking the path, still living the PTG life. What is your family? What's the impact it's had with your families? If they were here right now, what would they say?
I'm related to almost everyone that I live around. I have an ungodly, enormous family. So as much as possible, we've actually been volunteering our family to be involved as much as they possibly can.
Right.
As literally at all of the events that we've been able to hold and do, I mean, we have roped our entire family, our friends, everybody into helping us out. And I think it's really impactful for them as well to be able to see the change and the things that we've been able to accomplish in the short amount of time that we've been doing this.
Eric, what would your son say? Because I know there was a huge impact on him.
Yeah.
You're not walking a labyrinth, but you can still cry. It's okay.
You know the soft spot. My family means everything to me. My family is the only reason I sought help, because I was fine on my own. You know, I would have struggled. You know, I thought I was fine. My wife's peeking in the door behind the camera now, and she'd kill me if I pull her over here. But I have a completely new relationship with my wife and with my son. Our marriage has never been stronger. We are able to have those deep, meaningful conversations that we were never able to have before. My son and I, there were times where I would lose control, and I knew that AJ was scared of me. And that's that was the worst feeling in the world, knowing that someone who's supposed to come to me for protection and for advice feared me. That's horrible. It's not there anymore. We have a loving, great father-son relationship. We spend time out on kayaks out on the lake. Today we built a lightsaber holder for the 852 lightsabers that he has. But the unexpected change that had happened is they became interested in what PTG is. They saw the change in me and in Rick, because we're very involved in each other's families. He's the godfather to my son. They've seen the changes that have taken place, and they've become interested in it. And my wife, who was a firefighter and first responder for years, is now starting to follow these practices. She's become interested in meditation and regulation practices, and it's awesome to be able to share that. I'm probably going to botch the definition, but the definition of a hero is somebody who experiences extraordinary things and comes home and teaches others what they've learned through those experiences. And forgive me, please correct me if I botch that.
Nope, you got it right.
To be able to come home and share those stories, share those experiences, share those learning moments with them and see them grow from it, it's all I could ever ask for in life. It's amazing. It's helped my family so much.
That's good. Now I remember when you two walked in the doors, head down, eyes dark. Eric, I asked you a question and you said yes, just because you thought you had to answer yes, and then you realized that yes was the right answer to that question at the end of the day, that you had your own answers. And so what are you doing with those answers now? You guys are not just sitting on your laurels. You have alluded to the fact that you've built one of these special little labyrinths in your community. So talk about that. Talk about what you've done with your experience and how you're impacting warriors and people in your community.
Well, I'll start off by saying I'm very, very proud of the fact that we've had several members of our community, people that we work with, people that we know, have gone through Warrior PATHH. Mm-hmm. It's awesome to have like-minded individuals, people who are on that same path, that community, not just through a Zoom meeting, but here in our community. And we knew that we needed to share our experiences with people who weren't able to attend or who were unwilling at this point to attend. It's a big commitment. So through some fortunate happenings, through some rolls of the dice, I was contacted by a lady who had a small nonprofit that just wanted to do something for veterans, and contacted me and said, well, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. And I said, that's great. Have good luck. And she kind of, was confused. I said, because what you're trying to do is not going to work. I've done that before. I've been through those type of programs. I said, you want something that's going to truly affect veterans and first responders? This is what we want to do. And we laid out a lot of the experiences that I had in PATH, and I said, there's one other condition. This guy's got to come with me. And we started a nonprofit called One Mission Salute. It's spelled a little weird. It's with a 2-2, and it represented of the 22 veterans a day that they say take their own lives. We're teaching regulation practices. We've built a labyrinth to share with our local community. And we've just had an overwhelming response from our community, from our local veterans, from our first responders, and it's been amazing. And you can take it from there.
The only thing I would add, we had an idea, a pretty well-defined idea of what we wanted to accomplish before we started. But we certainly found out as soon as, we hit the ground running, there's a lot of other needs in our community that we hadn't thought of prior to. We're now getting ready to start doing programs in a local nursing home with combat veterans that live in the nursing home. We have partnered with a veteran homeless shelter in Wilkes-Barre, and we've been taking them. We've been able to collect over the last 2 months over 10,000 pounds of food for the homeless shelter and a local food pantry. Just lots of little opportunities and needs keep popping up, and we're finding that our scope is a little bit broader than we had initially thought of, but it's been fantastic every step of the way. As far as growth is concerned, we've been doing, Eric said, wellness practices. We've been doing yoga, and we've got a guy teaching breath work. Eric and I are actually almost to the point where we're both going to also be certified breath work coaches. Something that we can offer. But yeah.
And things as simple as we do something the last Saturday of every month called Campfire and Coffee. Mm-hmm. And it's literally just that. We sit around, we have a campfire and invite veterans and first responders, and we sit around the campfire and drink coffee. Mm-hmm. And share camaraderie, build that community of veterans and first responders, build that trust where disclosure can begin. And we all know through disclosures is the first step in truly healing and beginning the process of post-traumatic growth.
One last little thing. Our last Saturday, our campfire and coffee, we had one of our state, just from throwing stuff up on Facebook and advertising and doing everything that we've been doing, we had one of our state reps just show up, and that was a awesome. Great little dance that we got to pull her aside and have a great conversation with her, and hopefully that relationship will lead to something greater.
Absolutely. I do want to talk about, because we've talked about your campfire and coffee, and it's not your typical, kumbaya session around the fire. It's real deal. It's not, telling war stories and making s'mores. Mm-hmm. It's real conversation. You're really kind of digging into the heart of the matter for those that show up, right?
Well, we did make s'mores last week.
But there wasn't any kumbaya.
It's
all right. Well, let it slide then.
No, we are very upfront with the veterans and first responders that show up. We ask them tough questions, and we expect honest answers, and we're not afraid. And we have called out people that say, "Not buying it. What's the real answer?" And it's amazing when a lot of these people who have never heard of post-traumatic growth, never heard of Boulder Crest, before that day, never even heard of One Mission Salute, come to a campfire, are put in a position to answer hard questions that they didn't think they wanted to answer, and to see the reaction, that they realize maybe this is something that I need, maybe this is the direction I need to head. And like I said, the response has been huge. We've been growing. Like I said, right now this is a monthly thing for us. It's probably very shortly going to become at least a bi-monthly thing for us, because we've been our growth has come from people who come, and I'm bringing my friend next week. I'm bringing my cousin next week. I'm bringing my daughter next week or next time.
Yeah,
and it's really amazing to see.
Well, it's been really neat to we've got one veteran. He's a Vietnam veteran. He's 83, 84 years old. Oh, sorry, 86 years old. He shows up regularly, and we have, Iraq and Afghan vets. We have local police department. We've got fire and EMS. Everybody shows up, and it's really great when we get into these discussions about post-traumatic growth and how to struggle well. And it's fun just to sit there around the campfire and see all of the light bulbs come on, that everybody realizes struggle is not indicative of just one group of people. It's not just a veteran problem. It's not just a police problem. Everybody has and struggles with these issues, and it's fun.
That's very cool. I do have one more question. Go ahead.
I was just saying, and healing. I mean, it's part of that giving back. It's part of that service. I love the fact that we're able to help people that have struggled silently for years.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
it's very healing for us as well.
We right after we finished our labyrinth, we introduced it to our group of people that's been showing up on the campfires, and we had somebody approach us afterwards that wanted to walk the labyrinth but didn't feel like he was ready to walk the labyrinth. So we had a good conversation, and we met privately a couple days later, and he walked the labyrinth all by himself. And to see somebody that's been holding on to something for
20 plus years,
almost 3 decades, let it go. Now you could watch him be lighter as he came out of the labyrinth. It was an incredible experience just to be a part of it. And I was very grateful. I am very grateful for it.
And that was going to be my kind of final question. Is the labyrinth was a bit of a catalyst to this. It's kind of a centerpiece to what you're doing in terms of on the ground and the engagement, the tangible engagement that somebody can experience through you guys. What have you seen as been the response, whether it's veteran, first responder, whoever? How have you seen that come to life, the labyrinth come to life, and the impact that the labyrinth has?
It's still new. We have been incorporating it into as much as we possibly can. About a month ago, we hosted a free community concert for our local area, and we had a local.
Yeah, back again, no singing.
Yeah, it wasn't Eric or me.
I was just gonna say. I mean, you told me there was no band, but
no. But we had a free community concert. Concert went great. We raised twice what we had hoped to raise money-wise. We had, of course, the labyrinth open up that day. Hold on, somebody's calling me. Let me get rid of them. Yeah, where was I going? Oh, we had the labyrinth open that day, and every event that we have, of course, we have the labyrinth open. We encourage people to walk through it, and it's a great conversation piece, a conversation starter with people when you're just standing in front of this thing. And you know what? I'm going to brag a little bit. Between Home Depot and all of our local businesses that contributed to the labyrinth, we ended up spending almost $10,000 just to build a labyrinth.
Wow.
Somebody really wants to get a hold of me.
They want to make sure you're on TV.
Yeah, yep, sorry. But no, it's been great. It's been a lead into being able to talk to people about One Mission Salute and what we're doing and what we're all about. And
the general curiosity about it. I mean, there's not a lot of people, and before PATHH, I didn't know anything about a labyrinth. Mm-hmm. We've been blessed with some media coverage about it. We've been on the local news. We were in a couple newspapers. So not just from our veterans or first responders, but from the community at large, to see this thing that we actually put at our local fairgrounds. So it's going to be open to the public during the fair. It's a very open spot. To see this, and what is that? What is this about? It has been a great tool for us as an outreach. If it's a community member, we explain what it is. We can talk about it a little bit and invite them to walk it. But then when a veteran or a first responder approaches us, hey, what is this? Well, it then becomes a different conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know, let's really dive into this. Let's explain what this is. Let's explain what post-traumatic growth is, and the opportunities that you have because of your struggles.
Very cool, fellas. And please remind everybody where you are at, in case we have some local folks watching.
Yeah, absolutely. We are in northeastern Pennsylvania, small town called Dallas, right by Scranton. Yes, the Scranton from The Office. But yeah, we're in Dallas, Pennsylvania. People can reach us if they're nearby. If they're not nearby, if someone wants to take a drive from Texas, we're more than happy to meet and talk with you. And they can reach us on our website or our Facebook page. I think Coach has it scrolling down there on the bottom.
Yep.
Yeah, please reach out. We love to talk to you. Love to welcome more brothers and sisters into our community.
And if guys and folks that are watching, if you've got questions specifically for Rich and Eric, put it in the chat box here, put it in the comment section, and they have access to this and can answer questions and make connections where and when possible. So, fellas, I appreciate you guys. It's always fun chatting with you. It's fun watching your growth, watching your experience, watching everything. Watching your backwards hat. It's good. Still jealous of your beard game, but yeah, you got swag. You're doing good when you got swag.
Shameless plug.
But nothing, no shame about it, Bubba. No shame about it. But thank you for doing what you guys do, and most importantly for living your growth and sharing it with the people around you, with the world around you. Because like we say, you guys have an impact, and the average warrior has an impact of 500 people, and that impact can go one of two ways. It can be a negative impact and have one heck of a ripple effect, or it can be a positive impact and have one heck of a ripple effect. So the two of you, and neither of you are small individuals either, are making heck of an impact in your communities and your families, and like very, very, very intimately, it starts with you. And I appreciate the work you guys continue to do for yourselves, and then the ripple effect that has everywhere else. So, team, if you want more information, check them out. One Mission Salute. And if you want more information on Warrior Path after you've heard the experiences and the stories from Rick and Eric, it's warriorpath.org. And check it out. Struggle to strength, struggle well. And fellas, we'll see you on the flip side. I appreciate your time.
Thanks, brother.
Thanks, Coach.